Hey friends, it's Jess Jericho. We're gonna review some freeze-dried raw cat food brands that you've asked me about in the comments. We're going to use my cat food label cheat sheet. You can get access to this in the pinned comment below. This video is not sponsored, however, I have included affiliate links in the description below. So first we're gonna look at Raw Paws pet food, freeze-dried cat food. This is what it looks like. And then we scroll down to the ingredients. So we have beef, beef bone, beef lung, beef liver, beef stomach, beef heart, beef fat, beef kidney, beef blood, herring oil, mixed tocopherols, and then another version of vitamin E, D-alpha tocopherol. So instead of saying meat byproducts, they tell you the exact byproducts that are used: bone, lung, liver, stomach, heart, fat, kidney, blood. So that's very, very specific and really closely matches the cat's natural diet, right? The cat would eat the entire mouse, and that would include all of the muscle meat, all of the organs, all of the bones. So this is what I like to see. This is what you should look for. Exact sources of each ingredient. There's minimal synthetics. You have mixed tocopherols and D-alpha tocopherol. Those are vitamin E versions that help preserve the food. Now we're going to use the guaranteed analysis to calculate any carb amounts in the product. So 100 minus the protein, fat, fiber, moisture. Ash isn't listed, so I'll use 3. The approximate carb amount for Raw Paws is about 14.8%. which seems off. So we go back to the ingredients. We see that there are no carbohydrate sources. So when you go back to the guaranteed analysis, take a look at where it says crude protein minimum. So 51% is the minimum amount of protein. It could be higher. Same with fat. It's provided on a minimum. So 23 is the absolute minimum, but it could still be higher than that. So that's why it's not really cut and dry. This is the exact amount of carbohydrates that are in the product. This is a guess because the minimums and maximums on here, like for example, fiber is maximum. 2.2 is the absolute maximum. It could be less. Moisture, 7% maximum. It could be less. Ash isn't even listed, so again, that's another guess. So when you use the guaranteed analysis to calculate carbs, you also have to go back to the ingredients and check to see, are there any ingredients that contribute carbohydrates? In this case, no. So Raw Paws pet food, freeze-dried cat food gets a 20 out of 20. There's exact ingredient sources, a lot of variety. There are no non-descriptive ingredients. There are no carbohydrate ingredients, and there's very minimum synthetic vitamins and minerals used. The next freeze-dried raw cat food we're going to review is Feline Natural. The product name here is Chicken and Lamb Feast, so that's really great. You want to see only meat-based protein in the product name, and you want to avoid the words with and flavor. This word feast is the absolute most that there's going to be of meat in the product. When we scroll down to the ingredients, there's chicken, lamb heart, lamb kidney, lamb liver, lamb blood. So again, we're seeing the exact sources of each of the quote-unquote byproducts being used. Heart, kidney, lamb, blood. We know exactly which animal is providing it, and we know the exact organ or blood or whatever the byproduct that's being used. The rest of the ingredients: flaxseed flakes, New Zealand green mussel. That's another one, New Zealand green mussel. That's very precise. It's not just saying fish oil. It tells you the exact fish source. Dried kelp, taurine, vitamin E supplement, and then the rest of these are synthetic vitamins and minerals. When we go to the guaranteed analysis numbers, and our approximate carb amount is about 9.7%. But we go back to the ingredients and we see maybe kelp that has some carbohydrates. I think that's about it. Maybe flaxseed flakes, but that's fairly low. That's less than 10%, which is ideal. So I would rate Feline Natural freeze-dried raw cat food 19.5 out of 20. I think because there are whole meat sources, but there are a handful of synthetic vitamins and minerals that might not be necessary. Let's say if they included the lamb tripe, if they included the stomach, maybe some bones. but 19 and a half out of 20 is still really great. The next freeze-dried raw cat food we're going to review is Primal freeze-dried nuggets. In this situation, the product name is Turkey Formula. That word formula fits under the dinner rule, so that means it's going to have the most amount of turkey. We scroll down to the ingredients and we see turkey, turkey necks, turkey hearts, turkey livers. So again, we're seeing the exact animal protein source as well as the exact byproducts. Instead of just saying turkey byproducts, they list each individual ingredient: turkey necks, turkey hearts, turkey livers. That's really great. Next, we have organic pumpkin seeds, organic sunflower seeds, cranberries, blueberries, celery, kale, a bunch of other whole food sources. Fish oil, that's a little questionable because we don't know what type of fish it comes from. So for example, when we go back to Feline Natural, it said New Zealand green mussel. That's very precise. If we go back to Raw Paws Pet Food, they say herring oil. So that's a very specific fish. They're telling you exactly which one. Whereas Primal just says fish oil. So that's a little questionable. The clay is in there as an anti-caking agent, and there are very minimal synthetics. It just says vitamin E supplement, taurine. Then we have cod liver oil. So see, they're precise with this one, but not fish oil. When we calculate the carbs, it's approximately 15%. And when we go back to the ingredients, we take a look. Pumpkin seeds definitely have carbs, sunflower seeds, cranberries, blueberries, squash. So I would say that approximate carb amount is accurate. So I would rate Primal freeze-dried nuggets maybe around 17.5 because there are carbohydrates and there is one non-descriptive ingredient here, fish oil. But there are minimal synthetic vitamins and minerals, so that's a good thing. There are the exact sources: turkey neck, turkey hearts, turkey livers. The next freeze-dried raw cat food we'll review is New Zealand Natural Pet Food Co. This is the duck recipe, and we'll take a look at the ingredients. Duck with brown bone, lamb green tripe, lamb heart, duck liver, kelp, New Zealand green mussel. So again, we're seeing the exact sources of each of the animal proteins and the byproduct that's used. And then again, with fish, New Zealand green mussel, that's very specific. Another fish oil that they use is hoki oil. So again, instead of saying fish oil, they say the exact fish, hoki. They have some synthetic vitamins and minerals. They also add salt and honey. Honey they're likely using maybe for antioxidants and some beneficial nutrients, but technically cats don't need sugar. And kelp provides iodine, so I'm not sure why salt is added, maybe just as a preservative. So I'm going to take a couple points off for that. When we look at the guaranteed analysis numbers, our approximate carb amount on a dry matter basis is 10.9, so that's pretty low. And when we go back to the ingredients, we see that there are really no carbohydrates, maybe the green tripe and the kelp, so I think that estimate is fairly accurate. So for the New Zealand Natural Pet Food Co. freeze-dried raw, I would say about 17.5 out of 20. Like I said, I took a point off for honey and a point off for salt. There's a handful of synthetic vitamins and minerals, so I think 17.5 out of 20 is a fair estimate. The next freeze-dried raw cat food we'll review is Stella and Chewy's. A lot of you ask me about this brand. This one is rabbit dinner morsels. So again, we have the dinner rule here. This is going to be the most amount of rabbit. We go down to the ingredients list. We have rabbit with ground bone, rabbit liver, olive oil, pumpkin seed. And it looks like these are the only whole food sources. So rabbit with ground bone, that's good. Rabbit liver, that's good. And then olive oil, they're likely using for essential fatty acids. It's more ideal to have fish oil though. And then pumpkin seed. And then we have some bacteria here. And then the rest of them are pretty much synthetic vitamins and minerals, except for the kelp. We use the guaranteed analysis to calculate the approximate amount of carbs on a dry matter basis, and we get about 18.9. So let's take a look at the ingredients again. And I think that's probably coming from pumpkin and kelp. Unfortunately, we don't know how much of those ingredients are there. Pumpkin seed is fairly high up on the ingredients list, so I'd say there's probably a good amount. That's maybe where the carbs are coming from. I think that's an accurate estimate of the carbs on a dry matter basis. I would give this Sail and Chewy's 17 out of 20. There's not really that many meat ingredients. We have rabbit with brown bone and rabbit liver. That's about it. The rest of the ingredients are essentially synthetic vitamins and minerals. Don't get me wrong, cats obviously need vitamins and minerals, but those nutrients should be coming from the meat ingredients. Like I said before, we want to match the cat's natural prey as closely as possible. If we go back to Raw Paws pet food, again, we have all of these muscle meats, bones, and variety of organs. So, and they include the blood. So you're going to have a lot of nutrients coming from that. When there's only 2 meat ingredients, it makes sense that they need to add all of these synthetic vitamins and minerals. So really, any of these freeze-dried raw cat food brands are great. It's totally up to you which one you choose. That's why I designed this point system so that you can be in control of what you feed your cat. If you want me to make more videos like this, let me know in the comments below. Tell me which cat food brands you want me to review, and I'll make more videos like this. Thanks for watching.